And we're recording, and welcome to tonight's Zoom. It is May already, the 7th, and I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Let's do it with sound. I got a little bit of a video here. Boom, I got my screen filled with all kinds of stuff. I usually have this cleaned up before I do this. Woo! That was me working late. Yay, habit champions, right? These are our habit champions right here, making other people's lives healthier and their own, I might add, with new habits. We have tomorrow night's webinar coming up. I don't know if any of you noticed, I did move it to the top, but last week, Stop Challenge and Choose. The recording is now posted in our support group. And Lisa, if you want us, I didn't catch it. I've got to watch it. I just haven't had time yet. I know I will get to it tomorrow. But Lisa, would you like to highlight why you were raving about it?
It was just a different. I love when they have analogies for explaining stuff, and in this particular one, when they were talking about Stop Challenge Choose, broke it down to your brain has an upstairs and a downstairs, and it was just really phenomenal. It was, and the interactions of Stop Challenge Choose and the way it was presented in this webinar was outstanding. It's one of the best ones in my opinion that I've watched, and I find great value in watching all of them. But this really, in our transformational system, how you think is how you start to change your long-term results. So this was really phenomenal.
Thank you. Who else watched it?
I watched most of it this morning, but I was going to rewatch it because it was so good. I need to absorb.
Okay. And again, it's posted at the top of the support group. And tomorrow night's Authentically Healthy, Being True to Your Transformation. And as soon as that recording is posted, I will post it as well. Now, I figure I haven't told you guys where I am drawing my material from. And so I found a short little bit of the authors of the book that I'm using for the information I'm sharing with you.
The idea for this book really started with me. I started my journey into my 70s, and I was getting a lot of grief from family members and all because I was about 40 pounds overweight, and I was huffing and puffing and all that kind of thing. And they said, we'd like to have you around a little bit. When are you going to get yourself in shape? So that's when I called Tim and said, Tim, I need to get in shape. And I had tried this for years with Tim. I would call him in February. I didn't want to start in January, like everybody else, and say, let's get going. But by the middle of March, I'd be off, consulting and giving speeches and all, and the program would fall apart. But I said, Tim, I need your help, because it's really about help, because with New Year's resolutions, when you announce them, everybody goes, yeah, and then they all go to a leave alone leadership style. But I needed your help, Tim. And what did you say?
Well, I said, Ken, first of all, the fact that you're here in November instead of February is a good indicator that something's a little bit different this time. And so I asked him what those reasons were, and of course he drove home that his family and everybody really wanted him to be around for another 20 years. And of course the big point I made to Ken is what's really important in this is that you're doing this for yourself, not for everybody else. Because if you're not doing it for yourself, it won't stick.
But I knew that I needed help, so I said to you, Tim, what would it take to get your commitment as much as mine, because I knew I needed somebody like him as my head of my support system.
And while thinking about it, it just occurred to me that the best dual commitment here would be if we wrote a book about it. And so I said, Ken, if we're successful in this, I want to co-author this book and tell this story with you.
But what we wanted to do was not write a typical how-to book about diet and all those kinds of things. We wanted to write a book that's about how do you keep your commitment to your commitment. And that's really the whole point. And what we realized is that you can't do it without a support system. And so Tim was my lead supporter, and I had other people that were working with me, and you need a support. Read this book, because if you do, you'll really get to realize how you can keep your commitment to do something in your life that you haven't been doing before. And it might not be fitness, but this book is for you.
And you got to be committed to the commitment.
So, just a recap of where we're at, because these are their rules, their guidelines, and this is the way you stay committed, is by knowing and understanding what works and why it works. So I recapped in greater detail last week. This week I'm just going to keep bringing it to the forefront of the brain and our resources that our body uses for energy. You have fat, glucose, and ATP. And monitoring your heart rate, that was important to them. That's why they covered it. The aerobic exercise, the interval training, the flexibility, the balance. I mean, we're moving right through it. And then getting endurance, strength, balance, and flexibility is all part of living that healthy lifestyle. So this chapter was about nutrition and weight loss. And that's our forte. No matter how much you exercise, unless you focus on nutrition and weight control, you will never attain optimal health. Nutrition, proteins are necessary for the repair of damaged muscle and bones. So protein is going to be the first thing that we talk about. Proteins are necessary for the repair of damaged muscles and bone tissue. Amount required for the average person who does not exercise is 50 grams a day for a 150-pound person. If that same 150-pound person were doing serious strength training, they would require 100 grams. Protein provides the amino acids, which are the building blocks of damaged tissue. The body does not have storage capacity for additional proteins, so the excess is excreted from the body. Foods that are a good source of protein are lean meats, I'm missing a T there, poultry, fish, unprocessed. Can you tell I was in a hurry here? I had other things going on. Unprocessed non-fat milk, nuts, and soybeans. It is also a good idea to eat protein at every meal. Carbohydrates. Lisa, would you like to read? If I left flattlers out, I'll tell you.
Carbohydrates are highly misunderstood. I believe the general feeling is that you should always be low on carbs for trying to lose weight. Carbs are necessary for maintaining blood glucose and glycogen storage. However, it is important to understand that there are good carbs and bad carbs. The bad carbs are the starches and refined sugars, just about everything that is white. Starches are generally loaded with calories, have very little nutritional value, and do little to satisfy hunger because of the instant release of insulin. Digestion becomes difficult. The body does need sugar, but the best sources are found in nature. Vegetable, fruit, and whole grain products are good sources.
Who's next?
What's that?
Who's going to read next?
I'll try.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, carbohydrates. Nature's carbs have to be broken down into the body's digestive tract and processed into glucose in a slower, controlled manner. Our 150-pound inactive person would need about 150 to 200 grams of carbs for brain and muscle function, and a same-size athlete needs between 300 and 400 grams of carbs. Carbs should also be ingested with every meal or between meals and paired with protein to slow the release of insulin.
Now we get to fats. We did proteins, we did carbs, and then the facts on fat. The American Heart Association recommends replacing bad saturated fats with good unsaturated fats as part of a healthy eating program. Love it, the unsaturated, limit it, the saturated, and lose it, the trans fats, hydrogenated, and okay, explain. I want to hear the laughter.
Well, and lose it, the donuts and
Yeah.
coconut oil. Is that what that is down there? Coconut oil?
Yeah, I saw that too. I wondered about that.
Well, I have read about
I thought,
being bad for you. I have read that in other places.
I always thought coconut oil was good.
No, I've seen where it isn't. And I'll tell you what, I'll make a note. And next week we'll go back and revisit that, okay?
Sure. Absolutely.
I love that. And then at the end of this, we're going to talk about who practiced their balancing. I don't want to forget that. So y'all be my brain and remember for me.
I didn't.
Good fats versus bad fats. Just like carbohydrates, there are good fats, which are your unsaturated, and bad fats, which are your saturated. We have all over time become label ninjas in here. Your body needs some saturated fat, but it should only account for about a third of your fat intake. Fat has many functions. It is our primary source of energy while functioning at normal levels of activity and provides vitamins A, D, E, and K. It is responsible for the development of cell structure, and it provides us with insulation, usually too much. Fat should contribute about 30% of our calories. Good sources of unsaturated fat comes from vegetable oils, olive oils, canola oil, nuts, fatty fish like salmon and sardines. And I would add that when you see that coconut oil there, you're dealing with someone that his business is creating optimal health in people. So his opinions might vary from someone else's. That was one of the reasons I decided to reveal my sources so that you did know where they were coming from. And we're talking about, yeah. And the nutrition today, part of that optimal health, now they're getting into the nutrition and the weight loss side of it. And you see that even the health benefits of water are there. We all know we need water, but not everybody's good about drinking it. We generally don't think of water as a nutritional item, but without it, we would cease to exist. The adult body is approximately 70% water, of which about 75% is stored in muscles and 20% is stored in fat. It is recommended that we drink 8 glasses of water, or approximately half of our weight in ounces per day. This is difficult and takes a conscious effort for most people. Proper hydration is necessary for body function. Our electrolyte balance is greatly affected by our hydration level. If our electrolytes are too low, we experience muscle cramping and other systemic function. You will frequently observe this easily. When you are doing aerobics, drink small amounts of water frequently, and cool is best, and it is easier to absorb than ice water. Supplements and vitamins. A nutritionally sound diet will provide RDA requirements for vitamins and supplements. If in doubt, a good multivitamin will ensure all bases are covered. Now, as I have been doing this and taking his information, and it always surprises me how everything goes hand in hand with exactly the structure that Dr. A has designed for all of us. I've yet to come across anything that didn't go hand in hand with his. And our fuelings, they are complete with your vitamins and your minerals. And back in the day of Medifast, they did have the artificial sources in them. And when they left Medifast to become Optavia, they transformed from a diet company into a health and wellness company. Your probiotics are included in your fuelings. So you can see how eating, so when we were talking earlier about diabetes and the way people eat, how it impacts whether you have it or you don't. And I was thinking of this chart as we were discussing that, because this right here is, I think, the reason that so many people who do our program are able to control or actually get rid of that, as in Leslie's case. Anybody have anything they want to comment before I go to the next slide?
I had a comment about water.
Go ahead.
I know we already passed water, but that's a heartburn for a lot of people. That was really, really hard for me. But I have a friend who was at a plateau in weight loss and didn't drink water. And now that she's drinking water, she's beat that plateau. And for me, if a person that I just couldn't abide the taste of water, I would have water, not drink it. But something that I've discovered as I have gradually increased the water intake, now anything but water is not appealing to me. My body, once you give your body the water, it craves the water, and it's such a bigger part than people give credit for in getting healthy and all things. It's just such a bigger part of it than people give it credit for, is what I wanted to point out.
Thank you.
Well, I think I have a little dispute on the vitamin thing in here. I know I don't get enough vitamin D from this. We call nutrition support on that because my vitamin D is very low, and my doctor wants me to take in X amount of vitamin D. Also, the probiotic, I still have to take one. I still do a probiotic.
Okay.
I have to, but I mean, I just don't know if it. And I take a daily vitamin as well, because one of the things they said when they were diagnosing me that I'm not accepting that diagnosis is that fibromyalgia. That I need more to make sure that I have my multivitamins and taking all that stuff. So I still take fish oil and I take other things. So I don't know if I'm supposed to, but I'm doing it.
Well, fish oil is fine. And what you don't use in vitamins, you know where that goes, in the toilet.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Right, it goes straight through you.
Yeah. So you're not hurting yourself, and you may be helping yourself. So err on the side of caution, right?
Yeah.
Leslie, are you there? She didn't answer me last time because I wondered if she was hearing us. Okay.
She's still here.
She's not hearing me apparently.
Well,
I can hear you. I just couldn't figure out how to unmute myself. I just figured it out.
There she is. Leslie, you had a
Yes.
conversation about your boss. And you made the statement that it was, you know what I'm talking about? The one where she came in with
Yes.
Can you share that again? Because I love
Absolutely. So my boss, I was in my boss's office and we were talking about work, but her lunch got delivered. And so it was McDonald's. It was like a quarter pounder and large fries and a large sweet tea. And she was trying to hide it from me because, everybody knows that I'm doing this diet plan at work. And as, to be supportive, she was, sorry. And I said, no, really. I automatically would have said it. I automatically said, no, it's fine. It's not appetizing to me. And that's an automatic response. I say it more than once at work. I realized while I was sitting there in her office that I wasn't just saying it. It wasn't an automatic response. The fries did not smell delicious. My mouth wasn't watering. I didn't feel deprived. But what it really brought home for me as I was sitting there, we finished our conversation and her lunch is sitting there on the desk. My boss had gastric sleeve surgery and lost over 100 pounds about 6 years ago. She had to pay for it out of her own pocket. Her insurance didn't cover it. She also had some skin removal and breast reduction surgery. All of it, according to her, she paid for herself. She has gained back 70% of her weight, and she is able to sit down in one sitting and eat a quarter pounder, a large fry, and a large sweet tea. And the way I understood this gastric sleeve surgery is after you have the surgery, you can only eat like a half a cup to start with. And then, anyway, the lesson that I don't really know that much about it, but the lesson that I took out of it was that she made this drastic choice. She had this surgery. She spent all these thousands of dollars. And here we are 6 years later, and what was it for? It was for nothing. Because she's right back to eating a huge fast food meal that she wouldn't have even been able to consider eating post-surgery. So what was it all for? She didn't make the habit change. She didn't make the lifestyle change. she just gradually eased back into the same old habits, and here we are. Wasted thousands of dollars, and she's still unhealthy.
And she had major surgery on her body.
Yes, major.
That's terrible. That's terrible. But thank you, Leslie, for sharing that. And fasting is covered under nutrition, and skipping a meal, fasting, limiting calories is ineffective and it's counterproductive. We always make sure we tell our clients to be sure and have all 5 of your meals. The body senses it is not getting enough food and goes into conservation mode and slows down the metabolism. When the next large meal is consumed, the body wants to convert to fat and store it because the body doesn't know when the next meal is coming. Dieting without exercise will result in weight loss, and we all know that because the first 3 weeks we're on the program, we don't do exercise, and you do have your greatest weight loss during that time. Dieting without exercise will result in weight loss. However, weight control by diet and exercise is the best by far for most. With aerobic work, you are developing more calorie burners because as you're building muscle, muscle burns calories, glucose. So the more muscular you get, the more you can eat because your body's going to burn more. And it as well, it is developing the desired shape. Exercise is a big factor in your overall shape. Dieting without exercise will result in weight loss. However, weight control by diet and exercise is by far for most the best. And I repeated that, and this is the end. I didn't go back. I meant to delete that on that other one. Do it for life. Make it fun, and you will do it. Now it's time for our feedback. And I think I will start with Marcia Novita. Where is Marcia? There she
I
is.
think she left.
There she is.
I'm here.
There she
I
is.
don't really have any great feedback tonight. It was too chopped up, really, to focus on anything.
Okay.
I apologize for that.
No, that's okay. Dorothy? Or you can pass.
No, I'm not going to pass.
Okay.
I thought that it was very interesting. I think that I don't get enough exercise. And I'm changing my lifestyle this week. I've always made lists of things that I have to do every day. And starting yesterday, I decided that I'm going to make a list of everything that I've accomplished that day, because I never get enough done, but I'd like to see what I've already got done. So I changed it. I'm making a list of the things I accomplished that day instead of the things that I didn't accomplish that
I've
day.
read that before. Yeah.
Yeah, and
It makes sense.
I feel better because I look at this long list of things that I've accomplished, and then I'm not thinking about the things I didn't accomplish.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But I do need more exercise.
I heard you were joining the gym.
I'm going over to see about a gym that has a pool. Yeah.
Woohoo!
Are you going to Sugar Springs?
No, I'm going to go right over here to the exercise place.
Well, they don't have a pool, do they?
Oh, yeah.
What
Right.
place? What? Adapt?
No, not Adapt, the other one. Adapt does have a small pool to work out, but exercise.
Okay.
But the other one here on 30, and I can't think of the name of it.
Okay. Pinnacle.
Pinnacle, yes. I'm going to go over there and find out about it because I heard there was quite a few people from the Brook that go there at 6 in the morning.
Oh, cool.
Oh.
Who you passing to, Dorothy?
I am going to pass to Martha Pope.
I'm kind of like Marcia. It covered everything pretty well. But I would like to add that I saw my doctor this week that I had not seen her in 10 years, and I was getting desperate again. So I called and she accepted me back. It's a psychiatrist at University Hospital. And but when I came out of the appointment, besides feeling relieved that I have her on my team now, she just does the same thing you all keep telling me too. But for some reason, when she tells, you know, and so she said, I want you to start doing Tai Chi. Is that
Tai
said right?
Chi.
Huh?
Tai Chi.
Tai Chi.
Uh,
Okay. So I found, Connie sent me a good program and I found a good one yesterday too. So I'm going to start with those and do them here because I figure I don't have the strength to really go to the class yet, but I did find a class on Tuesday nights at 6 o'clock. So when I do start doing that, I'm going to have to get out of there at 7 and get back here by 7:30 because I won't trade you off.
oh, well, thank you. That's all great news. I'm so happy, Martha. And you look great too.
Yeah, well, I'm excited about this because I can do it. I mean, I can go like this, and I can go like this, and I can do what they say. And I see how I have. So if I'm standing, I'll be doing something. And
Amen.
She's worried about the mental and wants me to quit thinking. She wants my brain to stop, and she said this will help me.
It will.
So
Occupy. Meditation too. So who are you passing to, my dear?
the other Martha.
No, Martha left. She said
Oh,
give
she
everybody
did.
her apologies.
Oh,
Everybody
okay.
was loud in her house, so she couldn't hear.
Okay, Tony. Did he go to sleep on us?
No, he's not asleep.
He's muted. You're muted, Tony.
Yeah.
There he is.
I'm back. Yeah, there I
There
am.
you go.
No, I think my exercise is the part that I haven't been doing enough. But realizing that every time we do this, and I realize that I'm not doing enough exercise, and then I says, well, I'm doing Zumba, and I play golf, and I clean the stuff around the house, and I do housework. That should be enough, and it's not enough. I need to do some muscle work. I can get some muscles.
Yeah, strength.
You need to come to water exercise class with me.
The pool is too cold for me.
Okay.
Yeah, the pool has to be at least 94 for me to go in it.
It's been cold for me too.
Thank you, Tony. Who else you want to pass to?
Lisa.
All right.
I don't have any amazing takeaways. Just I'm still stuck on the something that's helping me amp up is the knowing your range when you're
Heart rate.
when you're burning fat, when you're burning glucose, and when you're burning ATP. Because of that, because I've been checking it regularly, I know how I feel, where my breath's at when I'm in my zone. So now I don't have to stop in the middle of exercise to see if I'm there, but it's causing me to not necessarily push myself harder, but I like to say that I'm getting more bang for my buck for the time that I am spending active. Even when I'm walking, I've stepped my pace up to get that feeling of where I know I'm in my zone. And that's been very beneficial to me. Another thing I would say is that a key to me staying active is finding things that I enjoy doing. I enjoy walking Riley. I enjoy the pool. I enjoy line dancing. So the more things that if you're trying to get more movement in, the more things that you can fit creatively into your life that are things that you enjoy, then in my opinion, that will help you stick to it more. You don't feel like you're like, ugh, I have to do this. It's I'm excited. On Tuesdays, I'm like, yes, it's line dancing day, or yes, it's Zumba day. So, and when I get both, when I get Aqua Zumba, which I get Thursday morning, I'm just like, really, people have to tell me to tone it down because, but yeah, find something you love and you'll do more of it, and it'll help.
Who you
And
passing
he
to?
hasn't gone yet.
We got Denise, we got Mary Ann, and we got Leslie.
Leslie, go cuz. Unmute yourself.
Okay, I've figured out the unmute finally. So my takeaway really, I mean, just to kind of go right along with what Lisa was talking about, I currently am not exercising enough, and I know that, but what I'm doing is not beating myself up about it, because I know it'll come. I'm definitely moving more than I was 3 months ago. And so for right now, that's really all that matters to me. But as far as this meeting tonight, and my takeaway from it, it honestly is the importance of the community and the being able to be together. I normally don't do these Zooms because I can't do the video. I can't because my computer will lock up. I'm in the country and I have terrible internet. But just coming in and getting to talk to everybody and, you know, not just type on a screen is a great takeaway for me, because it really helps me stay focused. I'm up here by myself. So I definitely have the ability to do whatever the heck I want to, and staying really connected to a group like this is really important for me to really reiterate the habits of health. You know, it's not just about the fuelings. It's not just about the exercise. It's about the community, the group, and the support from friends and from the coaches, and sharing knowledge.
That was great, Leslie. Thank you. Bobby said, who are you passing to?
Tell Leslie what this is.
Can't see
Leslie,
it.
Leslie, do you know what that means when we're doing our hands?
No, I just assumed that it was like jazz hands.
It's deaf people do this for clapping because they can't hear.
Oh, cool.
So we don't interrupt people. We do this when we're happy. It's like clapping.
Awesome.
That's clapping. Thank you, Lisa. Who are you passing to? You got Marianne and you got Denise.
Oh, Denise, you came in late and we haven't heard too much from you. Let's go with you.
Thank you. I want to say first, Lisa, it was so great to hear your voice. It was really nice to hear your voice. And I'd like to see that. I wish I could see your face too, but I can't. And then I was right on with you, Lisa. I had that written down, the support system. And, you know, and that was so proven tonight, because we had a problem today, and, you know, I was able to go to the source and to my support system and help us through that crisis period. And I'm really ecstatic for that. It just shows, and it shows my sister, Marianne, how much these women all care for each other, and we care for one another. And I'm just so proud. And the other thing is, Tony, I want you to take Martha golfing, because if she goes golfing, you will not think about another thing but that stupid golf ball that's down. That's my challenge.
When you golf, you forget everything else. I mean, you forget that there's a world out there, just the trees, the grass, the water, golf balls.
All you do is that's right. All you do is look down at the ground, hit that ball, and say, well, I didn't go any further than that, or it did go far. Now, where is it?
Sometimes we don't find them.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, so I'm going to pass to Marianne.
Okay.
Is Marianne here?
Would like to just say, yeah. Can you hear me?
We sure can.
Yep.
Hello. Okay. The information was a good review for me, because of course, I had to do nutrition in nursing school. So it's just, you forget, you get so much information in your brain from there. And also that this is really good for me to be in a group like this, because I live by myself and I tend to hide out from the world. Don't
isolate. She tends to isolate. Yeah.
Yeah. So yes, I enjoy it. At least I may not always talk, but I enjoy listening.
Uh-huh.
I have to add to this. I have been in this group for about 5 years now, when we started doing challenges.
Mm-hmm.
And, some of you might not know this, but when I started in this group, I've heard Marianne, Leslie, I've heard you say you're out there in the country and you're by yourself. Well, I was in the country by myself and not in a really good place. I literally was, I was married and had a couple of stepkids, but I was isolated. And this group, as you all have highlighted tonight, was my support, my family, my social outlet. And if you look back at some of the old videos, you'll see behind me locked in my little room. So yeah, you're in the right place and you're not alone. So we just really, these huddle ups, I would not ever miss them. This Tuesday night is non-negotiable for me because we're a family in here, because we have each other's back, and what one of us is going through can most likely definitely help another. Or if somebody not in here, somebody that we meet in our day-to-day world. Like I know if I have somebody with diabetes, I have somebody with certain situations, knowing you and knowing your stories, I have resources to go to not only help you help me, but to help the larger community. And community is key too. But the community is here, but the other thing I wanted to point out is that how you choose to keep yourself plugged into the community is also a big predicator of your success.
Right.
Which Leslie, you highlighted on. And Marianne, I'm glad to see you here. So y'all are not alone. I
thought it was great how Ken Blanchard said, support. Remember in his little thing that he had his community? I thought about all of us when he said that. Who was? Yeah, go
I
ahead.
have something to add. Since you have a couple people who don't see us, have pictures, maybe you could put a sheet together with all our pictures on it and send it to them so they at least know what we look like.
I can do that. I can actually put a copy of the room up in when I post the video tomorrow, and then they can see who was actually in the meeting. I can do that.
Oh, okay.
So that was a great suggestion. And Marcia Novita, you're drinking water now, so why don't you speak to that?
Woohoo!
Yes.
Woo! That's big major right there.
Yes, it
That's
is.
right. And I'm getting used to going to the bathroom more because of it. And
And Marcia, you look 20 years younger.
that's on the screen. Thank you, though.
Oh,
Thank you.
I do. You look wonderful.
But it feels good to be drinking more. I feel healthier and
Oh, yeah.
not as hard to do anymore because it's just natural. I go to drink something. So
It's like all the little habits. It's just
yes.
habits
Uh-huh.
that we've created. Well, I want to thank everyone for being here tonight, and I love our community.
Me
And
too.
we'll see you next Tuesday.
Okay. Good night, everybody.
Habits of Health webinar tomorrow. Don't forget Habits of Health webinar tomorrow.
Yes, tomorrow night. And the one that's posted in the room. Love you guys.
Love you too. Bye.
Bye.
Glad that all worked out.
Thank you for the note.
Good night, you.